There were high expectations put on this Pittsburgh Steelers team for 2024, and what have we got so far? Seems like the same old Steelers. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody, here on a Thursday. We are diving in. I appreciate you for stopping through. Let's start talking a little bit about those expectations that were put forth on this football team by all of us here in the fan base and the coaching staff, the franchise, and the players themselves. The high expectations that were put on this team that were seemingly coming true. And then all of a sudden, boom, it blew up in their face. Injuries happened, and the same old Steelers got wheeled out there. Ultra conservative, not a good scheme half the time out there. The quarterback carousel now starting to unfold like it has in years past. And when are the Pittsburgh Steelers and Coach Tomlin going to get this thing right? When are they going to start moving forward as opposed to taking just lateral moves, man? When are they going to start making this thing go? That's the real question, and I believe that test comes here this Sunday in prime time against the Jets. The Steelers typically play well in prime time, however, fell short to the Dallas Cowboys last Sunday. Well, not last Sunday, but the Sunday prior, the last Sunday night game in which they played, fell slightly short after a game in which you thought they should have won, creating massive amounts of turnovers and not able to really light up the scoreboard and capitalize off of those turnovers. This week against Aaron Rodgers, the expectations, yes, are still there. They still remain, and I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers hopefully can get this thing on track with a new offense in Russell Wilson. That's the hope. That's the real hope here, that Russell Wilson is able to make defenses play the Steelers honestly, make them have to respect the downfield pass because of Russell Wilson maybe having a little bit more accuracy and a little bit more field vision in order to see open receivers down the field to be able to strike when the guys are wide open down the field. Hopefully this little reset here, if need be, helps Justin Fields to return if he has to, if Russell Wilson doesn't seize this moment and take the job. Hopefully this little break allows Justin to reset and not do what I think it's going to do, and that is cause him to regress. And if I was Justin Fields, I would be kind of pissed. I'd be pretty pissed knowing that I have a 4-1 football team that I am leading right now, and I've scored 10 touchdowns with 1 turnover, and I'm getting benched. So I would be kind of pissed, but we'll see what Justin Fields does. Does he do the things that Russ did? Russ was, even though he wasn't playing, even though he wasn't in the starting lineup, he never caused disruption. He never caused any type of controversy in that way with his behavior throughout Justin Fields' 6 games as the starter. So we'll see if Justin Fields can reciprocate that same team type attitude, that same support for Russell Wilson as Russell showed for Justin. We'll see if that happens. Hopefully that is the case. But again, the expectations were super high, and I believe they still remain because they cleaned house in that quarterback room. They have 2 guys that they really have high hopes for, yes, on 1-year deals, but they are auditioning these guys to see if they are potentially the future. Then you saw them revamp the offensive line, then the injury bug hit them. Well, here they are, with about the same old guys that they had last year, with the exception of the center and the right guard because of James Daniels' injury. And Zach Frazier is usually in there. However, his injury right now will be a week-to-week thing. I expect to see him probably coming back out of the bye as Ryan McCullum takes the field in his absence. You still have Dan Moore Jr. at the left tackle spot, Broderick Jones at the right, and Isaac Seumalo at the left. So this offensive line is kind of similar to what it was last year. So if you are that offensive line, hopefully you can start to gel and play a little bit better in front of Russell Wilson here this Sunday and allow him a little bit of time to be able to push that ball down the field and show what the Pittsburgh Steelers offense can do with a quarterback that is of a veteran presence that has won Super Bowls. We'll see. Or will you see Russell Wilson not be able to have that vision that you're hoping that he has and take sacks and hold the ball far too long? Will you see Russell Wilson check it down far too much? Will you see an uneasy feeling from the veteran, 11-year veteran in Russell Wilson? Will you see those things happen? That's the question that remains for the Steelers. Again, you had high expectations for who? The year two players. Some of them have really stepped up. Some of them have been injured. Corey Trice, injured. Nick Herbig, injured. Joey Porter Jr. has played lights out, if you ask me. You have other guys that you brought in throughout the offseason that I feel one of them has been the best acquisition since maybe even a Joe Hayden, and that is DeShon Elliott. DeShon Elliott has played amazing football for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Amazing. And he has done a fantastic job. And I said it in the offseason, and I thought this was to be true, and I had a really good guess here that I thought DeShon Elliott was going to be one of the most key acquisitions for the Pittsburgh Steelers, considering his style of play and who he was going to be teamed up with in Minkah Fitzpatrick. And I think it has worked out amazingly for the Steelers, and it has been their best acquisition this offseason, gaining the services of DeShon Elliott. Then you look at guys like Corey Trice again and Herbig that have been injured, and you're saying to yourself, damn, I really wish those guys would be out there. Really, I think you'll see them eventually throughout the season again, but when they were in there, they played pretty well. You're going to have Cam Sutton coming back, and another offseason acquisition in Patrick Queen, who's started to play better and better and better each week. And I know some people are not high on Patrick Queen right now, but if you really, really watch the tape and you watch the snaps of Patrick Queen, and you watch how he has developed and you've watched how he started to become comfortable inside of this defense, you will see a true progression so far. And every week it's a little bit better. And that is the ultimate goal for the Steelers, bringing in a big name free agent like Patrick Queen. And I think that'll continue to get better health, if he can remain healthy. So we'll see how that all goes too, and how these second-year guys perhaps maybe get back onto the field and start producing a little bit more. Jaylen Warren was another one that you had super high hopes for this year. He's been injured, but hopefully he comes back this week in prime time to get that 1-2 punch for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So tons of storylines, guys, across the board, and it still seems like all we can focus on is the quarterback spot, and all we can focus on is who the Steelers don't have on their roster and who they're going to bring in. But there is tons of storylines, tons of players that have great potential that we seem to forget about that could really be major contributors down the stretch here for the Steelers. This 2-game stretch right here, right before the bye week, is so important for this team, guys. And the expectations being so high in the offseason, and the expectations continuing right now to remain high. If you are a fan of this team, you see the potential in it. You see what the possibilities are that they could really go out there and make some things happen. And these 2 games, guys, are going to be your true barometer. It's going to give you a lot of answers on what's going to happen coming out of the bye and what could potentially be the Pittsburgh Steelers of 2024. What story they could write. These 2 games are going to show you that, because I believe you will find out whether or not Russell Wilson or Justin Fields will be named the starter, because I feel like that will happen after the bye. I feel like this is an audition for Russell Wilson here in these next 2 weeks. And then I think you're going to start to get people back healthy. I think you're going to get, again, Cam Sutton coming back. What is that going to mean with a guy like Beanie Bishop, who's gained some experience and has played okay in moments and poorly in other moments? But that's to be expected with a rookie coming out, an undrafted rookie coming out and playing real, true, meaningful NFL minutes, starting minutes. So, yeah, there's a lot of things to still have high expectations for, and please do not abandon this team and the expectations that you had, because, guys, they should still be there, and there is still a lot of potential with a 4-2 football team, a 4-2 football team that has the potential and has the opportunity sitting in front of it to go into its bye as 6-2. At 6-2. That's awesome. We'll see what happens, because I hope to God they do come out of that or go into the bye 6-2, because that could really spell good things. Because, guys, again, the opportunity and the expectations are there. When this team comes out of the bye, they should be relatively as healthy as they can be for the remainder of the season. They could potentially have as full of a team, as full of a roster as they could possibly have for the rest of the season. And you might get to see a really exciting ball club take the field here in Week 11 for your Pittsburgh Steelers. And let's just watch and sit back and enjoy the ride of these next few weeks of what this Steeler team is going to bring and exactly how this is all going to unfold for you, the fan. And hopefully, again, it ends up being one of those magical rides this season in 2024. All right, guys, we'll catch you tonight at about 7:30, 7:45 Eastern Standard Time for Steel City Live, the best damn live show for Steelers content on the internet right now on YouTube. So make sure you join us. I appreciate all the support that you've given us. Make sure when you enter that live show to share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And we'll see you then, man. Until then, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace, my friends.